let's go. Let's roll.
So I noticed when I talk to you guys, it's like there's a complimentary, right? And I was telling you guys how I could just feel it. And right away you were telling me it was very different in the beginning when you were dating each other compared to all the other past relationships. So can you tell me, first of all, how did you guys come to find each other, but also what the dating process was like in terms of how you were saying that you ended up taking it so much slower compared to other relationships. So
Did you
Let me start, and then she will tell her story, because every story has two ends. So
yeah.
on my end, it was happening this way. So I was all into the business after my previous marriage. I had bad divorce, and not materialistically, but in feeling wise. So and that's why I kind of was at the point that I didn't know even if I want to get into something like this again. So and I dedicated years, like almost 10 years after my divorce, to helping my kids. I had two kids from previous marriage. Okay, my daughter was admitted to New York University, and that's why I came to New York to be with her, to help her. I knew it will be challenging for her by herself. Okay, so and that's how I ended up in New York, and I was concentrating all into it. So I was building my business and never even thought about it. And along the way, always my friends and my family members would tell me, oh, you need somebody, it's not good to be by yourself. Anyway, so I was getting to the point where I rented a space for my business, so I did remodeling. I was all into it. And along the way, a couple times friends tried to introduce me to different ladies, and I mean, from the first minute, I didn't have any connections to them. I knew it's not for me. So I just didn't even pursue the even idea to meet again. So only like one date and that's it. So I could instantly tell that it was.
What can I just ask you before you go on? What made you know that it wasn't there? Just a feeling?
Yeah, just a feeling and overall situation, like they would tell where they are in their life.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously I knew where I am at which point, and I knew that there's big discrepancy, and so it's not for me at this point, because I also was trying to, promote my business, and I'm in the music business. So and
was it red flags? Was it things that you knew right away that's not going to work for me?
Yes.
Can you give me an example?
Yeah, like for example, one lady, her mother is sick, and she's with her a lot. There is her son having trouble. He's like in his late 20s. Their daughter doesn't like high school, and in all of this kind of whatever she's telling, there is problems.
Too many problems and not enough space to take in the person.
Yes, too many problems. And I knew right away if I would get involved into it, I would have to help it, because I know I'm this kind of person. I would want to help, but I know I don't have time right now and resources for that. So I won't be helpful there. And then also on the soul connection between, I see there is nothing common between us. So I mean, I could tell instantly. I mean, it was just not gonna work. And then when I opened my business, when I just finished construction, opened my recording studio, and the first client came to me, he was recording the project, like it was 5-6 songs we were recording. So it was a lengthy project, not one day. So, and every time he would come and we spend time in the studio, and after that I would walk him home. Okay, so and we talk. I just always like after recording session go in fresh air, and breathe a little bit to freshen up my head from all the music notes, And anyway, and we talked. He talked about his life. I talked about my life. And anyway, after a week or couple weeks of work together, one day he tells me, why you alone? Why you by yourself? So you need some kind of lady, nice lady next to you, which will help you, take care of you. And I was telling him, like my point, that I'm kind of not feeling it, that I'm ready for that. I am all into this. But he was insisting, no, you need to. And few days later, he comes back to the studio and said, what, my daughter has a girlfriend, very nice lady. Let me
Ah.
introduce you to her. And now you take over. Yes, that nice lady.
So, and then one day my friend called me and she said to me, Leah, can I talk to you? I said, yes. And she said, I don't know how to start it. I said, why? She said, I want to introduce you to a guy. I said, so well. She said, but he's not Jewish. I came from the Jewish background and we were always raised to marry only Jewish people. So, and here she's offering me to date someone who is not from my culture, not from my religion. And I said, but he's from the same country. We speak the same language, Russian language. So she said to me, he's a very good person and he's like you, exactly like you. I said, what do you mean? She said, he's into healthy lifestyle. He's very smart like you. He's like, la la. And I said,
Can you just speak a little louder? Or I don't know if your volume, yeah.
sure. So she said to me, would you be able to meet this guy? I said, first I said, how old is he? So she said to me the age, and I said, no, I don't want to go with the older man than me. I want someone my age. He had 8 years difference with me. So, and then I said, you know what? Actually, if you say that he has a healthy lifestyle, maybe he is one of those who is taking care of himself. So there are some people who is at 60s and could be very young, like 30 years old. And there are some people whose story could be like an old man. So I said to her, you know what, give him my number. We will figure out if it's going to work or no. I didn't ask details. What does he do? What kind? She just say he's a good guy. My father told me that he's a good guy. And I know her father is very special man. So I said, I respect him so much because I know he found to the other girl as well, the boyfriend previously. And it's a very good relationship. So I said, if he says so, I trust him. I said, just give him my number. So when Volodya called, we start to talk. We find out that we came from the same city, not only the same country, but the city. We have the same common friends, my family, his close friends. And besides that, we start to talk about our lifestyle, about everything. So we have so much in common. I like to bike, he's bikist. I like to eat healthy food. I used to be on raw diet. He used to be on raw diet. Even to the point I like yoga, he likes yoga. We do the same exercises. He does it for 8 years, I do it for 3 years. Like,
wow.
We have so much in common. We start to talk about it, and I said, wow, such a combination. And I don't even know him, but it seems to be so simple during the conversation or the first discussion over the phone, and it's so much pleasure to talk. And I said, you know what, it's a COVID time. The all places are closed. He said to me, would you go out? I said, yes, but where are we gonna go?
And let me take over.
Okay.
I figure out because you know that one of the things I never like, and I never felt comfortable. So I think that this is important point. Like if you want to share this video with other people, I mean, for guys to know what you're comfortable with. And if you're not comfortable with something, don't do it on the first date. Like for me, I never like, for some reason, go to a restaurant and pretend that I'm all this and this. I cannot even order food. I have no idea what they call it. I never cared about it. It's not my thing, I've been playing music. I've been in the popular bands. I've been playing in best restaurants all over the world, but it's not my thing. I can eat and appreciate good food, but to go and order something like some of my friends would invite me to nice restaurants and they would order this, give these names of these dishes. I have no clue what all this stuff. So, and that's why they told me that she is going on a bike always. I mean, she's athletic. And I told her, hey, let's meet in the park on the bikes. And she said, let's do it. So I thought that was perfect date for me, man. And it's turned out to be the best thing because I was comfortable in that situation. And that's what's important. So she saw me at my best when I comfortable, because I know if I would go to a restaurant and do something pretentious, because first of all, then I still was raw vegan. I was just moving into Ayurveda, you know, I found out something else. And I thought that was best situation for me. And I'm glad she said, okay, let's meet it. Now you can tell your story.
So we came to park and we decided to meet at some point, but he understands the other entrance, I understand the other entrance. So we end up to be in different directions. And then we called to each other and I asked him, where you are? He said, oh, I'm from this end, I'm from that end. So we decided to meet each other. And then I think then he was saying to me, he didn't even get angry or anything.
Yeah, and I right away figure out that she has no clue with directions, and now we know when we go somewhere. Yeah, and I wear you. We were like 50 feet from each other, and she's telling me one thing, and I'm trying to figure out where she is. But I kind of took it easy.
But he had some kind of thoughts, not easy thoughts, thinking about what she has no sense of direction. I took it easy. I said, okay, so we will find park is park.
Yeah, I told her, don't worry, we will find each other where you at. So, but we found each other and we start riding the bikes and just talking about it. So it was so lucky, it was so nice. No expectation, nothing. Like it was from my part. So
from my part.
Was the connection during those dates, how would you describe it compared to other, when you've dated people with people that it didn't work out?
Okay, we didn't have, I will tell you, like in my situations, like before, if I used to date guys, I would look for the beauty, for something like,
say it louder.
for the beauty, like if the man is handsome or no, so for some kind of inner feeling, like falling in love, like he's handsome or something, some kind of feelings inside. But here I didn't have no feelings, absolutely no like falling in love. I just see a nice person, good soul, and easy to go with, such a good personality.
So easy.
I didn't have any like goal or any desires, nothing. Just date as a friend to see where it's gonna go. No, like nothing serious in the mind. I didn't have any like, oh, maybe he's gonna be the one. Nothing. It's just, you know, I said, let's see what it's gonna take.
Okay.
And even before that, before we met, he sent me his sent me the from the newspaper the article that it was written about him, that he's a famous, one of the famous musician, Russian musician, was working in the jazz band, and he was a teacher, and he has so much talents. And I look at that, I said, oh my God, he has so much of everything, and who am I? Like, I'm simple girl and everything. And then we were talking with my girlfriend. It was some kind of holiday that we were fasting, and we went to park. And I said, look, someone sent me the information about this guy. I mean, someone introduced me, and then he sent me the information. I said, what do you think about? She said, oh, interesting. And then I look at his pictures. He sent me the pictures. And first of his pictures, I'm going to say it. So on the picture when he sent, he was very happy, but his teeth and his smile, the full face, opened the smile. He had some black stains on the teeth. And it looked like he has some kind of problems with the teeth. And like the look is not great. So, and I said to the girl, I said, do I see something wrong? Or he really has some problems with the teeth? She said, yeah, what is this? Why did he send this picture where the teeth are black in color? Is it really, or it's a mistake, or it's obvious? What does he doesn't see it? And then I said, you know what? It's okay. And we talk on the phone. and on the phone sounds good, and then we meet, and I see he really has the blackness of the teeth. But it was because he did something wrong with his stuff, and it was some kind of workup done in the teeth. It got dark in color. Then he had fixed it out. But I didn't look at this time. It wasn't like before. I used to pick on every little details on men and the look and how do they, like I used to pick and say why. I used to judge a lot. Why the person is not taking care of them or something else. Here it was like some kind of, maybe I grew up and I start to look at more soul than in the physical look. And I give him a chance. I said, you know what? It can be fixed. This is a minor things. It can be fixed. It's not important. Let me look into his personality. Let me see.
You know what's interesting, that on my end, the first, when finally we met on the phone, we figure out where she is, and I turn around and here she is. And I look, and the first impression I had, she's absolutely not my type. Absolutely, you know? And like same thing came to mind to me. Okay, let's see where it goes. I didn't, because like before I know maybe it comes with years. I don't know what this is, but I mean, whoever younger generation will look at this video, you know that they all probably will relate to it. When we're younger, how do we getting attracted, like at least from my experience, boys to girls? I mean, you see the look, right? And we go for looks always, but that's the big mistake. I think now I'm realizing it, because believe me, in my life, I've seen so many beautiful ladies. I've been in all kinds of.
I wasn't beautiful enough for him.
Yeah.
It's his vision, because everybody has a different beauty.
Different taste. Yeah.
Some people like skinny woman. Like I was a little bit chunky in front of him.
Yeah, because I was very skinny then, you know. And again, so like in this example, you see that she saw that I had some flaws. She didn't pay attention to it. I saw it's not my type, but I said, let's see what it takes, because I was told that she's very nice lady, caring, and so many nice things I was told about her. So, and I kind of was thinking that is more important, because yes, in my experiences, I've been around all of those famous stars, you know, ladies, you know, singers and dancers. And when you're looking on TV on them or on the stage, yeah, they're beautiful, and oh man, you think it's so good. But when you get to know them in real life, they live a miserable life, most of them, you know, and I don't want to deal with that stuff. So that's why, to me, I said, it's interesting. I'm just analyzing myself and how it happened, but it's probably, you're right, like we grow spiritually, you know, and knowledge wise, so we accumulate all this knowledge over the years, and I figure out I will take it slow and see where it leads.
When you guys, even though you weren't each other's types, was there something that did attract you to the person other than what other people said about them, about each other?
No, just I will tell you what attracts me. Attract me that we have so much in common.
Okay.
So he likes to travel, and I like to travel. I used to travel alone most of the time. After the divorce, I didn't have companions, so I could not wait for people who has the same vacation time or the same type of taste where I want to go and do the same things. So for me, I like to travel 5-6 times a year. Every 2-3 months, I need to go somewhere to recharge myself from my stressful life. So I need to go somewhere. I used to do it alone. And now he's telling me, I love to travel. I travel all over the world. So it's like click on me. He likes to read, and we were talking about different kinds of topics and discussing about different things. Like I said, we have the same healthy lifestyle in food, in sport, in yoga, in all kinds of things. So I said, it's such an interesting thing just to have a friend, even though it's not going to work. I even told my nephew, I said, I met someone, very interesting person, but I don't know if we're going to go somewhere physically. But I said, but as a friend, I want to have him as a friend.
Right.
So I invite him to join our bikers group.
Group.
We were opening new group with Igor, and I invite him to join us, and he came.
And that's what attracted me to that. First of all, I was so busy, like I said, I was working on my business, building it, so I worked like 24 hours a day. I mean, I slept very little and worked and worked and worked. And I had a dream, to finally, when I finish, to go see, because all of these dreams I had before COVID, because all this pandemic happened. And I wanted to start going to the theaters, because I live in New York, and I mean, people from all over the world coming to New York, to spend time here to see all this beauty New York has to offer. But I am living here 5 years because my dad already finished university, moved to Hollywood, to work there. She's in the movie business. And another year passed, so I'm still finishing up building my business. And I wanted to go to the theaters, to go to listen to symphonic music, museums and parks and all of this.
And she wants to do the same.
And it's happened now. They apparently have some group of people on the bikes. They go to different parks, in different. So during that last summer when we met, we went to so many things. I saw so much of New York that it was unbelievable. I fell in love with New York. I love this area. I mean, in the summertime, it's unbelievable. From now on, I don't want to go anywhere in the summertime. I want to be here.
You know how beautiful New York is. He used to say, "I hate New York. It's so cold here." I said, "Let me show you New York." So now he has such a different feeling about the city.
Yeah,
so
it
much
was
beauty.
so good.
So you were enjoying each other's company. It wasn't about looking for something. It wasn't about looking for something. It was about, I'm just enjoying the moment. I'm enjoying the person. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's interesting after talking about it now, so we find out that we had same idea. Like she said, I will take it slow and we'll see where it will lead. And after first date, when I rode bike with her to her place and said goodbye to her, I was riding back to my place and I was thinking, very interesting lady. I mean, I would like to meet again and talk, because we were talking in so many interesting things. So like books we could discuss. And then later on, what also really like, so we would read a book with her and discuss it. So, oh man, that's another thing, like for people, who's dating there, try to see this way. So read the same book and discuss and see where everybody, because this way you can find out doing different activities if you're compatible. I think
and maybe for somebody else they might not like reading books, but for you guys it worked.
Yeah,
or maybe watch a movie or do something. I mean, something to have, discussion about, something to talk about,
something that connects you and allows you to connect to each other.
Yeah, you know what, I used to date other men, a lot of other people, and before I used to think, okay, I didn't know myself. I think dating is very important, because when you date, you go into the relationship, and every time you go with someone and it doesn't work, you don't need to give up. It's like a step to learn about yourself. I always used to ask myself a question: what did I learn? Why didn't it work out? What didn't I like about this person? Or what didn't I like about myself? Maybe I didn't act properly. Maybe I was too wrong. Sometimes when dates goes and then you come up and you say, oh, I messed it up. I shouldn't be saying this, or I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I shouldn't be on the first date saying this and that. Like Volodya said, the woman told him all his problems at the beginning. I used to do it also so stupidly. Maybe it's not supposed to be. Why do you need to put all your problems on the table? Nobody wants to hear any problems. So like you grow from that. Every time if it doesn't work out, you don't give up. It's especially given to you to learn something. So I used to make a journal and write down all the time, what did I learn from these lessons? I got divorced. What didn't work with my marriage? What did I learn from that? what did I need to accomplish to come out from this relationship? So I don't get into the next relationship, which is the same. So I start to learn about myself, what is important for me. So, and I used to date a lot. Sometimes it used to be like, I don't know, maybe 50 people I went out with. Some dates, like maybe 10 dates, I just walk out from the date from the time I see the person. Like people lie about, people lie about the, like I used to date from the dating site. People put pictures of themselves, don't want to come up on the FaceTime, or at that time wasn't FaceTime available. And then when you meet person, say he's 50, but when you come see the person 70 years old who barely opens the eyes and uses his hand to shake, it's like, I'm sorry, I am walking away. I used to say it honestly because I don't want to spend your time on my time. It's not mine. So it happened to me like 10 times. I walk out from the dates. And then other people I used to date and I used to ask question, like, for example, for me, important traveling. I used to ask question, would you like to travel on vacation? What do you do on your free time? How do you spend your time? So like if person tells me, oh, I didn't go to vacation for 7 years. Okay. Would you be interested to go when you have some? Why didn't you go? Oh, I have kids to take care. I have this and that. Okay, I understand this is a single father whose wife passed away. But if you are gonna have a companion who is gonna financially share with you all the expenses, would you be interested to go? No, it's a waste of time. So if the person tells me waste of time, why would I go to the relationship just because he looks good or he has a good business? Why would I go to the relationship with someone who is not going to share with me what is important for me? Because I work very hard and I need to go away to, I love to see the world. And then it's also rejuvenates me. And I like to communicate with people and see new life, new cultures, new things. So for me, it was important to know that the person is capable. Or for example, I would go on a date and ask person, how do you spend your time? Person say, oh, I work. And when I come from work, I just sit, watch TV, and I don't have no friends. I don't have no habits. So what would I do with this person? If this person is so boring, this person doesn't like to read, doesn't like to learn, doesn't like to do anything, just coach potato. Yes, he looks good, he makes good money, but what? Sex is only sex for some period of time, then you're gonna be tired. Why would I go to the relationship just to have a man? I want to have someone who is gonna be with me. It was very difficult. I got to the point that I didn't
You knew how to
cut it off.
cut when you need to. You knew what.
Yeah. I knew. I went to this serious relationship a few times and it didn't work out also for different reasons. Some people had build up bodies, exercise a lot, like do a lot of activities to make a beautiful body, but didn't have any connection with the mind. There is no connection. I think it needs to be evenly. Like when I talk to the person used to get angry or something, or like with I was dating with someone and I got sick and my I used to have some kind of sounds with the nose or something, and it used to irritate person. Like everybody has something. Some way I was wrong that it was irritating the other person. Some way I was feeling that that person is not connected with me. So then dating everyone, I used to think about what was important for me. Like at the beginning, I was looking for someone who is not the first relationship I had, the person who wasn't caring and wasn't sharing financially. So I was looking for someone who is kind and caring. And then I met someone who is too caring and too kind that is like fighting me up. I don't want that too much of attention. I don't want to be all the time following me and giving me so much present in a short period of time. It was too much, like exciting me. Then I said, no, you have to know the restrictions, like a little, I asked for too much and it was giving too much. So I was learning through the process. And I always tell people, young people, don't afraid to date. Some people have a bad relationship and they stop dating. They said, I hate everybody. It's like that. All the men are like that. No, it's about you. The more you date, the more you learn for yourself. So you will know what you need.
So
and
let me
uh-huh.
go ahead.
I said, it's okay to have a relationship, even if it doesn't work after a few years. as long as you learn about yourself, as long as you're able to communicate. For me, it's very important communication, and also to know that other person understand you and your language of love. Because if that person is talking on his language and he doesn't want to hear what you have, what kind of problems you have, and what you want to see in relationship, and if that person doesn't care about your feelings, and or you don't care about his feelings, it's not going to be mutual.
So what would you say, other than not being each other's types, you weren't attracted to each other in the beginning. Other than that, were there any things that you didn't like about each other in the beginning?
Nothing.
No. Yeah, so like for me, there wasn't something which like was red flag.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so she wasn't the lady like which I would go myself approach and try to introduce myself, you know, like when guys see somebody and they physically attracted to that lady and they try to, you know, I mean, but talking to her, so I could see what a nice lady she is. Okay, so and from everything what she told me about her life, and it was, I mean, so much similarities, not only in things we do, even in our lives. I
Wow.
was amazed, like what she went through in her marriage, you know, and what I went through in my divorce when it was happening. So many similarities. It was unbelievable, and I was thinking, wow. But what attracted me right away, that her lifestyle, and because I think to find somebody who enjoyed to do same things you like to do, is a gift.
We usually attract people, we actually love people who are similar to us.
Yeah.
If you see something common in person, you say, oh, that person also interesting in this and that, and we do get connect more.
What?
Uh-huh.
No, go ahead.
I also wanted to say there is a 5 Languages of Love, the book written by Chappell, I think, Harry Chapper.
Yeah, it's very popular.
It's
5
a
languages.
popular book. I read it about 20 something years ago, I think. So what I find out that he has the same language of love like I do, like to spend time together. It's like more, I think more, um, it's more in our both language, like.
So you're talking about language of love, right?
Yeah,
So
there
like
is
somebody,
What are your shared love languages?
yeah, some people like share love languages by touch. Some people like presence. Some people like service. The other people like nice words to hear all the time. Like, and some people like to have a quality time. So in us both, we happen to have the same. I think we have the same.
Well, which one?
Which one is the quality time spent together?
Right.
is service too. We like to help each other.
Yeah, more important. Like I said, I want to go to vacation together. So it's for me, it's important that someone go with me, or I want to go yoga and you go with me. So for me, it's important that someone has quality time with me. Rather they give me present or tell me, oh, you're so beautiful. Some people like to hear all the time, oh, you look beautiful. You, for me, it's not important. I know that I'm beautiful, but for me, it's important. Or I don't need thank you. I don't care less. I can do for people so much, and I don't need their thank you. It's not important for me. For me, it's important quality time, that someone spends a quality time with me. I catch myself on that. So I think you have the same thing.
And like so far, we went on couple vacations together. We just came back from Mexico, and I absolutely love those vacations we went to. So interesting. So I'm just enjoying my time now, and I think that's what it's very important, that when you have someone to talk to share same thing you like to do, and especially like would love to travel. So I think it makes big difference.
When you
Big
have the
difference.
same values in life, and
Do you get along when you're on vacation the same way? Nothing changes?
no,
Even better.
better, because we are so busy during the weekdays. everybody has so much to do. Like
Because
you
some
said,
some people don't get along on vacation.
but,
You know?
but we are looking forward to stay together. We don't have enough time to be together. We don't, like, every day we meet after work. We have so much to talk about, and sometimes we force each other to go to sleep because there's no end. We can talk so much and there is no end. Like in other days, if I would go, you sit and you say, what to talk now? Like it's so boring and dry. Here you can talk about so much. We can hear any kind of video to see or hear any discussion, any things, and we just discuss, what do you think about that? And we discuss about different things, and there is no end. We love
Yeah, and
company of each other.
what's interesting, you mentioned about traveling, and people when they go on vacation they don't get along. So our first vacation we went on a road trip, and I was thinking, wow, that would be very interesting because it's actually harder. I mean, when you go and stay in a nice hotel, it's easy vacation, right? But our first vacation we went on a road trip, and I booked some hiking, you know, in Appalachian Trail. So we stayed in the camping grounds in a tent, you know, and I wanted to see how it would be. And we spent like 2 weeks going to Florida, you know, we went all over the Florida, you know, the states along the way. I mean, it was unbelievable. I was so surprised what kind of companion I got. She is, oh man, best companion you can ever have. I mean, I know like some ladies, even her friends, when we would talked about it, they say, oh no, I won't be able to sleep in a tent. Oh, I this and this. And I've been so many with this type of people. No, this is good. I mean, I can lay down in a grass and sleep, and I don't care what it is. I mean, whatever. And so she's sport in that regard. So we went through it. We stayed in nice 5-star hotels. We stayed in the campground, one campground. We came in the woods, and they said, they said it's a last spot, buy it like online. No, I booked it, and we come in, and there's nobody in there in the forest, you know.
It's huge forest, and we both alone in the
camping. It's like one tent, and some kind of noises in the dark, some kind of animals. What is gonna? We don't care. I made a fire. We climbed. Mosquitoes were biting us.
So, how do you, if you come across a conflict, how do you fight, or how do you actually how do you overcome the challenge together? What does that look like when you guys are dealing with that?
That's what's interesting. That's what I was saying. I just recently talked to my sister, you know, and I told her, man, it's been like more than 8 months now since we got together, and there is not one thing, like now one disagreement. And I like when challenges come.
We don't have no challenges.
How we, I mean, even that situation, what we talked about, like, I know how many ladies would react. Imagine like you come in and there's, many ladies would just, get out of here, let's go out.
You know what is important?
Man, go ahead.
You know what is important? It's not important to get in a relationship you need to grow up yourself first of all before you go into, actually I cannot say that everybody needs to get a relationship. You have to work on yourself all the time. In my perspective, you have to, like, I went through Kabbalah learning and learn how to not to react to the situation, how to open yourself to different possibilities, that all challenges in life come to learn something, to overcome situations. It's gonna make you grow and see different point of view. Like if I look at the book, it's hard book. If I look from here, I only see here. And if I limit my vision by saying, oh no, I'm not gonna go there, so I'm gonna only stay here because I see the book. But if I say, okay, if it's come my way, maybe I need to say, okay, and try. Maybe I will see something else. By saying, okay, I actually open possibilities to see the book all around. And then I might discover something that looks at the beginning bad, but actually it's very good.
Yeah,
Because
like one person looks and sees this, and he will argue, no, it's a small black square with little letters. No, it's a big rectangle. And start arguing. I would, because you see this, another person sees this, you know, and they start arguing. But in many situations, there is not right or wrong answer. It's just the way you see things. And many people at different points in their lives look at situation differently from different vantage points. And that's why we need to realize that there is other viewpoints, and maybe I don't see whole picture.
So if
And
you
that's
could
why-
describe your communication with each other, it would be that you understand each other's points of view really quickly.
Yeah. Yes. And even if I
But
don't
yeah.
understand, we try to
We don't
talk
have-
about
we
it
don't
and
have to
don't
know-
react right away. No, you're wrong. It's not like this. No,
Yeah.
that's a bad approach.
But I think we also came to the relationship. We are not young, and I think we growing up together through our previous marriages, through
Other
the difficult
relationships, yeah.
relationship at the end first, because we had such a bad relationship that we weren't happy, and we both caring people. And now when we meet each other, we already got established as a human being. We didn't get into relationship just to. It's a very important point, not to go to the relationship to fill up your void. Let's say some people want to date because they want to have a steady sex, or some people want to date because they want to get the citizenship in the United States or in Canada, or some people want to date because they want financial support from the partner or share expenses.
So when they expect something, that's what you're trying to
Yeah,
say.
when they expect something, it's not gonna be the relationship. When we met, we already were established. Yes, I want to go with someone to vacation, but it's not important for me. I can go to vacation by myself. He's not my part. The reason is important for me. Like some people used to say, why do you say like that? Or why do you want to have someone who is well established? Because I don't want to have someone who's going to be uncomfortable sitting home when I'm going away if he cannot go with me. I want to feel comfortable that my man stay home and I go away. Or I don't want him to feel uncomfortable that I'm going away and he will think that I'm somewhere else having fun, who knows with whom. Or if I have someone who is not making enough money and I make more money, so he will feel uncomfortable to go out with me because he don't have. I will feel sorry for him to spend money on me because he is barely making this money to make his ends. Why would I go with him and make him uncomfortable? So I always say, try to look at the same level, that you're financially the same, spiritually the same, physically, health-wise, sleeping. Like Volodya had one problem was with him. When we were dating, I was asking him, how do you like to go to sleep? He said to me, oh, I am always in music. I go to sleep at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, this is routine for me. I said, for me, it's opposite. I don't know how it's going to work with us because I like to sleep early in the morning. I mean, go to sleep early and wake up early in the morning. So what is good with him, he didn't argue anything. He started to just change himself. He said, okay, maybe I need to stop working at nights. Maybe I have to stop doing, how much can I make anymore? I have to, like, I have everything already. Why do I have to run after money? Now it's a time to build relationship. So he's easily adjust to my time. Like, even I said, I off on Friday and Saturday, and I want us to spend more time on Friday and Saturday. Can you have less work on those days and work more on the other days? So he said to me, okay, and he's changed his schedule. Like, we don't have like, it could be a big fight or something. Why should I change for you something? Like, he find it himself also interesting to change, to spend more time together. So we have like easy, smooth, it doesn't happen like to be any argue or any challenge. It's just easily going into we look to each other and see how can we adjust to what is needed.
Again, in relation, so summarize what
Yeah.
you were saying. So
In-
in relationship, it's important to see each other needs and try to accommodate it to best of your ability. And again, we started about arguments. Yeah, I think all the arguments, most of the time, I'm looking at my previous relationships, and all of the arguments pretty much go from nothing and have no point. I mean, what you try to achieve by arguing? And right now, it's so good. I am enjoying it
I
so.
think the argument happens because the people think about themselves only. When you care about others, you don't think about yourself. You take yourself out.
Were you part of that argument though? Did you also argue?
Like you involved, like someone say to you, oh, why don't you give me this and that? Why don't you spend time with me? Or why don't you give
So
me
how did you add to the argument?
You always try to make your point, like I said, like we show you example with the book, and that's what lots of time people make mistake, and I bet we
Can
all
you give me an example? Can you give me an example of when you were part of an argument and you were trying to make your point and the other person just didn't accept it?
Yeah, like in my, like from my previous marriage, for example. Yeah, so my ex-wife, her language of love was present. She wanted to feel, so for me to make her feel like what people feeling when they get presents, like.
no, this is her language of love. So she feels that she's important when you give her presents.
Yeah, so and my end, I was trying to tell her, hey, your present is all my salary, all my money I'm making goes to you because I give it all to you, and she in charge, she's buying stuff. So that's what I did. That's how it was in our family. I was giving to her and she was managing it. And I mean, and doesn't matter. I make $5,000. She spends $6. I made $6. She spends $7. I mean, it's always at the end of the month, not enough money to pay for that, and credit cards start to crank up. Got to the limit and other. And I mean, what kind of presents are you talking about? Don't you see? So I was going from there, but then I didn't know this language of love, of she needed presents. So I mean, I don't know now if I knew it, and if I would bring something to her. Apparently, to them, it doesn't matter. Even you bring box of matches, okay, it's for you, darling, right? I don't know what it's all about, but again, in every argument, you always, as far as I know, you trying to prove your point that you're right and she's wrong, and then you start arguing, and always some kind of.
Can you give me an example, Leah, of like where in the past you were part of an argument and you weren't able to see each other's point of view?
In my relationship, for example, my husband was, it was a point that he lost his job and I was the provider. And he used to carelessly drive the car and get the tickets and don't pay the tickets. And it used to end up to that. I used to find it somewhere else later, a few months later, and pay his bills and pay his insurance. And like he didn't have any physical help and support. So I told him one day, you have to chip in, you have to go and start working. You cannot just recklessly spend money you don't make. Like one time I ended up to pay $800 for one ticket because it was given to collection. He was hiding from me. Why don't you go and pay for that? So we were arguing about that. Like the same type of tickets, he used to pick up children from school, but like every month I used to find out tickets for double parking. If you make mistake once, don't do it again. Go walk to the place, pick up children without car, leave it somewhere a few blocks away. Don't bring me tickets. Why should I work hard double shifts to pay the tickets? So before I used to argue, and then I started to think, how can I manage? And then I come up that maybe it's time to say no. And one day I said to him, you have to pay your own bills. If you don't pay it, I'm going to just cut it off. So I become miserable. I called the police for insurance company and I said, we're going to divorce. We didn't get divorced then, but I say to them, I said, I want to have separate account. Yes, I'm going to pay more for my insurance, but it's in general, it's much less than paying for him and for me. And it was a car for my son. I said, don't give the child the broken car because it's dangerous. And then why should I pay for 3 cars now?
So, but
So
what would you say, like from your friends, in relationship, the financial is it's a big part, right?
it's
Of the
big part
relationship.
relationship, financial. People needs to be in the same. Like I said, it's very important that people need to look at
And
everything
need to
because
learn how to manage finances
financially
and
need to,
work together probably with that. Otherwise, it's
yeah, you
always
need to be
leads to some
discussed,
kind
and
of
yeah,
problems.
big problems financially happens when you don't. You need to discuss.
You're
before you-
sharing life decisions. So when you have a joint account or you're joining resources,
Yeah, you have to.
you're making life decisions when you're spending that money. So of course you have to communicate with each other.
I know. So, like another quick example, like in my case, we lived in Seattle, but then we moved to Arizona, and we were both teachers, and we worked for the school district and the school districts for retirement. To get full retirement from the school district, you need to work at least 10 years. So the one day less than 10 years you work, you losing the money from retirement. And we lived for 9 years in Arizona, and she announces to me, oh, I'm missing my family in Seattle, my brothers, sisters, my mother, father there. So let's go back. I said, it's just 1 year. And it's like she makes decision, but it's not only her money, retirement money, right? It's my money, it's money of the kids, it's whole family money. How can you just, no, oh, I'm tired here, forget that money.
Let me ask you this, just to be clear for anybody that's wondering, when you are dating or in a relationship, if you do see things you don't like, is that a red flag, or is it possible that there, because in your case, you didn't have anything you didn't like about each other, but is that what you recommend for people to like each other fully and not have anything they don't dislike? Or is it possible that you can dislike some things about the person that you can be with?
You know what? It's our relation is unusual.
And I
This
think
is
it's
very-
ideal, like when, like in this case, it's just shocking how everything, I mean, like even you, she said, I like doing yoga in the morning. I said, I like doing yoga. But then when we got to live together and start doing yoga, man, we were doing same routines. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So in like books she reads, like where she pointed in her spiritual development, and I'm kind of was getting into that direction. I mean, everything. So this is unusual. Now, like for example, for when I was always talking to my kids, when they were growing up, and I was telling them, hey, when you start to meeting somebody, like for my son, I was telling about meeting girls, or for my daughter, meeting boys. I said, first thing, please, and that's what I found long time ago, that what's most important when you first time meet somebody, be yourself. Don't pretend that you something else. Like I always, could tell, I don't know why, like when people, make out of themselves that they're so neat and nice and neat. Why? If you're not like this, that's the worst thing. I think on the first date, you need to be yourself. And if other person doesn't like it, that's it. Get away from
yeah,
that.
don't worry that you didn't get, like I had a lot of dates when people didn't like me. At some point I used to first say, oh, what did I do wrong? Why didn't they like me? And then I realized that you don't need those type of people. It's good that they disappear now.
Yeah.
You need to wait until your person, it's important to wait and select, not to go out, but don't jump into relationship with just because something is attracting you. Really look what you need, because what is happening, if you're gonna run after one, you are not gonna be able to give yourself a chance to really grow and meet the right person. You need to really not to jump into the relationship, but back up and see the bigger picture.
But now, what her question
was-
was like,
I
what do you think? Like, if you see something in a person which you don't like, so do you give chance and try to fix it, or
No,
what
no,
do
not
you do?
fixing, not fixing anyone. When you go into the relationship, you have to accept person the way the person is. Like, you have to think for yourself, ask yourself, like last relationship I had, I thought about a lot of things, whatever I discovered in him after I start to live with him. I find out certain things that it's not gonna work. So I spoke with him and I said, you know what, I discovered through a relationship, I cannot, you are a mature person, me too. If I get to the relationship, I have to remember that I have to accept you the way you are. But accepting the way you are, it's not gonna work in our relationship because of this, that. So why don't we just split up, because it's gonna be the best way not to make life miserable. I don't wanna argue, I don't wanna change you. Like that person said to me, oh, I will change myself. No, you didn't change yourself. If this is your personality, why would you change for me? I don't see other things. Like, it depends. You have to really work. It depends on what situation. You have to work together to see what is best.
So
If it's little problem, you can talk it out. You have to see if it's gonna work for you. Some people will change because you encourage them and show them the other side of the book. And maybe if they see the bigger picture, they say, oh, I didn't think about that. And maybe that person will look at the situation differently. But to say, I'm gonna get in the relationship and it's okay, I will change him to think differently about something or do something about something. Like, you cannot change person. You're gonna change yourself. You're gonna change things about yourself. How can you change someone else?
So I think, to summarize it, it's I think what, in our point of view, what I'm getting from what you're saying. So you, when you get into a relationship, give it a time. Don't have expectation. If you don't like something, if you see something, talk about it. Okay, and give it a time, because yes, maybe some other person will adjust something and will realize, oh yeah, I didn't think about it. Maybe this way it's better.
you were saying, make sure you're yourself. How do you know for sure you're being authentic and you're being yourself? How do you know you're not putting on?
Yeah, like what I always told my kids, if you're getting in bed and throwing your underwear on the floor or your shirt, make sure first night do that thing. Don't try to put it nicely in the closet. And
Okay.
so
you don't mean like if somebody is shy and they happen to not feel completely themselves because they're shy, you don't mean like that. You just mean show who you are and
yeah, in real life.
don't lie about who you are. That's it.
Yes, exactly. Don't pretend that
People lie.
A lot. People pretend that they're something, and when you meet them in real life, completely different person. And also look at the situation, how the people communicate with other people. It's very important. When you date, you look at the person. If you go to their environment, how do they deal with their family, with their friends? Like, how do they talk on the phone? Like, I remember I was dating one guy. He was talking to his family on the phone very roughly, like yelling and talking like, and I said, oh my God, this person is like, if he's on the phone with his close family like that, so what would be? Or you go to the restaurant and you see that he's speaking on everything in the restaurant, on the waiter. So, like, complaining about everything, picking on everything, like everything is bad. All those little things you have to look and then make a decision from this. Is it gonna work for you or no? If you